Bad sailboats. What's on the market right now for 40 grand? Be careful. Hurricane damage is starting to show up in the market, and bad sailboats are everywhere. Here's an example. With the hurricanes rolling through in the last couple months, we're going to start seeing a lot of sailboats hit the market that were in the path of destruction. So it's very important to keep a close eye on the location of the boat that you're looking at. It's a nice thought that we might be able to trust the broker, but ultimately the condition of the boat is up to the buyer to be responsible for in the sale. That sounds weird, but that's why we have surveys and the buyer pays for them. Today we're looking at a $40,000 budget and some very damaged boats for sale. We know Storm Milton charged across Florida, so when we see a boat that's for sale in Port Charlotte, we should have cause for concern. But this first boat is more than just sitting in the path of a hurricane. I remember this boat from last year for sale in the same condition with almost all the same pictures. This is a 1990 Prout 34. It looks like an event model, which is ironic because it was just in the eye of an event. $40,000 is about entry level to get into one of these baby cats in bad shape, a snow goose or a PDQ. And this Prout is bottom of the barrel budget wise. And I say baby cat because for 34 feet of boat, they're only about 9,000 pounds. They're 16 feet wide and need about 3 feet of water. A very enticing formula for a Bahamas cruiser, but this boat needs some desperate help. This looks like it was ridden hard and put away wet for sure. The first alarming thing for me, other than seeing it for sale last year with the same pictures, is this disclaimer. I've never seen a mechanical disclaimer on Yacht World before. Engine hours are as of the date of the original listing and are a representation of what the listing broker is told by the owner and or actual reading of the engine hour meter. The broker cannot guarantee true hours. It's the responsibility of the purchaser and or his agent to verify engine hours, warranties implied or otherwise, and all major overhauls as well as other representations noted on the listing brochure. Big disclaimer, and that disclaimer wasn't on the ad last year. I'm betting something happened. Likely someone came to see the boat and found a discrepancy with the engine and backed out of the deal, causing the listing broker and owner to get into a disagreement, which led to this disclaimer. Not a good look. It's the pictures though that make me recognize this boat. The duct tape on the dashboard covering the holes where the gauges used to be. Also the missing steering wheel and the ragged captain's chair. There's a mount for what was likely a fish finder and a suction cup holder. This looks like the previous owner was about as cheap as they come, fixing everything with tape and glue. I bet we find a couple tubes of silicone somewhere down below for project where he was feeling a bit spendy. Also, this chain plate isn't hooked up to anything and the mast is still up in this picture. I wonder if it's still up after the hurricanes. Here's a close-up of the duct tape work for us, and a horizontal winch. I don't like horizontal winches because water can run down and into the bearings. Winches are designed to sit upright so the water runs over them and not inside, but when mounted sideways like this, they need to be serviced more often, and this owner doesn't strike me as the type to service anything at really regular intervals. I have to wonder if this boat shouldn't just be cut up and parts sold off to the highest bidder. Inside, my worries are definitely confirmed. The woodwork shows signs of water damage. A whole section under the window is missing, and we can see water spots on the walls and whole chunks missing here and there. Water has been just about everywhere in this boat, including the electrical panel, and the damage is not exclusive to the inside. On the underside, we have strike marks, maybe from the anchor, and glasswork that needs to be addressed on the hull sides. I'd love to wander around this boat with a moisture meter and a roll of green painter's tape, putting a little bit of tape everywhere that showed high water readings. The boat would be covered with little green spots. Here's the controversial Tohatsu 30-horse longshaft, and it looks like it's definitely got some miles on it. Now, I'm fairly sure this boat should not be for sale. Just judging by the pictures, it needs a full refit, including all of the interior, and you don't gut a boat's interior and bulkheads and do stringer work unless it's something truly special. The original J24? Sure. The presidential yacht USS Sequoia? Absolutely. But a 1990 Prout with a cruising speed of 4.5 knots? Likely not. This would be like doing a numbers matching restoration on the 8,000th K car they made. It just doesn't make sense. But here's something that does. Please take a second to give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you haven't already. The mission here at Lady K Sailing has always been to get more people sailing more easily, and I couldn't do it without you interacting with these videos. Likes and comments help a lot. Also, a big shout out to the patrons, people who give as little as a couple of bucks an episode to make this all possible. If you'd like to help support the mission, please consider becoming a patron. Our next boat is going to be a breath of fresh air for sure. It's the opposite of what I just showed you. The $40,000 budget is where you start getting into entry-level modern boats like this mom and pop Beneteau Oceanus 311. Everything you could ask for in a lake sailor with modern amenities like a sugar scoop and an aft cabin. I bring up this boat because it's a great example of a boat ad with very few red flags. Actually, some green flags. A steering cover on the helm is a great start. This is an owner who tried to protect the vital components with something other than duct tape. There's no rust streaming from the outboard mount bolts over the white plastic, and none from the electrical connections either. A good look. The hull sides are clean, sunbrella is snapped in right and it's taut, and the lines off the coach top are all rolled up neatly and organized. Engine hours are incredibly low for this boat, and everything has a place, everything in its place. As I walk the deck of this boat, I'm going to be looking for soft spots because she's about 25 years old, and that's going to be the biggest danger after keel bolts and chain plates. Inside, we have a time capsule of exactly what this boat looked like when they made it back in '99. Nothing has changed, just perfectly preserved and cared for. No water damage showing anywhere, no leaks or watermarks coming down from the port lights. I'd wager that the upholstery is original too, and it's mint. A nice dry boat. Looking at these pictures, they're almost as nice as the press release photos of when this boat was new. You know, when you're buying a used car, you see things like lady driven and one owner. This is the equivalent boat. Single owner and super well cared for, and that's worth a lot. Other than the toe kick marks on the white staircase, you shouldn't be wearing black shoes on a boat. I can't see anything about this boat that gives me pause for concern. Now, I'm not saying you should buy a Beneteau 31, not at all. This is more of a teach a man to fish and he'll eat forever kind of advice video. I'm not trying to find you the boat to buy. I'm trying to teach you how to look at the ad for a boat critically so you can find the right boat for you. The last boat I want to show you today, and if you're still watching, don't forget to like and comment. This is a Catalina 320, and I bring this boat up because it's exceptional value for 40 grand. In fact, it's down near 30 after a price drop, so they're trying to get rid of it, and there's a reason. Also of note, it's in Annapolis, so well out of the hurricane path. Again, with nice looking sunbrella and helm cover, as well as lazy jacks on a full flaking main. This boat had new standing rigging in 2019, new lifelines in 2020, a new main in Genoa in 2018. Are we at 40 grand yet? We've got to be getting close to 40 grand spent on this boat in the last 5 years. New bimini glass and tons of work done, but here's the problem with this boat. The diesel had a vibration that led to some testing and found a 70% leak down in one cylinder. That means the engine needs some big repairs, but in the ad they're upfront and honest about it. No need for a mechanical disclaimer here. They even go so far as to include a picture of the quote they got for the engine repairs of just over 4 grand, but you can shop around, and if you're an overachiever, you can probably do this work yourself, or go all out and slap a brand new engine in this excellent boat and never have to worry about it again. For 30 grand, this is a heck of a deal for a great boat if you're willing to deal with the engine thing. And it's nice to see some honesty in advertising here. I'm not a Perkins fan, which is what this boat has, so I'd be shopping for a used Yanmar 3-cylinder like a 3G. You can usually find a good running Yanmar for a few $1,000s and have it professionally tested before you buy it. I bet I'd have a Yanmar in here for 5 or 6 grand doing the heavy lifting myself. The message here is clear. Be careful what you buy, especially after big storms roll through the heart of used sailboat country, Florida. Always get a survey and take off the rose-colored glasses when you're looking at these boats. Some boats just need to be sold off for parts, and others can be really great deals. Also, don't forget, I have another YouTube channel where I'm building an off-the-grid stealth box truck to drive across America, mostly to look at sailboats. I'm almost done the build, and the next episode is going to be all about the near-finished product. please subscribe to Charlie the Truck if you're interested in that kind of thing. I'll leave a link below. Until next time, friends, keep the heavy side down, but not too far down. We'll see you.